Hello people of the universe, it's me Elisa, and today I am doing a review for the new Wonder Woman movie. So for those of you who don't know, the new Wonder Woman movie came out last Friday, so I'm going to be giving you my thoughts and opinions on the movie. Apologies in advance for any spoilers. I, for one, hate getting spoilers. I hate when anyone ruins the movies. I will try to keep them to a minimum.
Let's get down to business.
With a superhero movie, it can go either way. It can be really good, it could be really bad, it could be a meh, I don't really want to watch it, but it was okay kind of movie. And when I saw the trailer, it looked really interesting. It grabbed my attention and it was very action-filled and it looked pretty good. And after watching it, I can say that it's probably one of my favorite superhero movies that I've ever seen.
One of my favorite superhero movies that I've ever seen.
It is amazing, and I'm very surprised to be saying that because the female superheroes that exist, like Wonder Woman, Superwoman, all those wonderful heroines, they're not as well known as the superheroes. And so I knew kind of the gist of what to expect from the trailer, as well as kind of common knowledge of Wonder Woman and her superpowers, but going in I didn't really know any of the lore or the background story of where she came from, how she grew up, things like that. And so with the movie, it's very interesting because it's kind of in a, spoiler number one, it's in a flashback scenario where she's looking at this old picture and it brings her back to the time in that picture. I haven't seen a lot of movies take that route, and it was refreshing and very interesting. It was thought-provoking because it's like all this is happening. The movie was 2 hours and 21 minutes, I believe. It was very, very long. And so the fact that this huge spans of time was contained into a picture, kind of cool, really interesting. And so I didn't read the comics. I kind of want to go back and look at them and see how the movie compares to the comics now, because seeing her background and how she grew up and her family, and it had one of my favorite things of all time is Greek mythology. I am fascinated by Greek mythology, and so it had those tie-ins, and it was really interesting that it was a part of it. It was kind of a big part of it. For someone like me who loves Greek mythology, that's amazing and wonderful, and I really appreciated that tie-in and that kind of part of her story, and that drew my attention even more. So I'm not gonna spoil that because that's quite a big part of how she is, how she became who she is, and kind of her growing up experience. And so, but I thought that was really interesting. Some of my favorite parts of the movie occurred when she was younger and as she got older, and I thought that some of the stunts that they had in the movie during that time period were incredible, because I would never be able to do any of the things that the actors were able to do. It was amazing, and it just showed how strong, and it was really, really cool. So for that reason alone, I highly suggest you watch the movie. As the plot progresses, she has to leave her home, and because of certain circumstances and her meeting another character in the movie, and so that kind of changes the dynamic between her and her mom, because her mom wants to protect her, she wants to keep her safe because she knows what she truly is, and Diana, Wonder Woman, does not. Her mom never told her of her capabilities. She never told her who she truly is. She thinks that she's this one thing, while even though she is that thing, she is this completely different person. She has abilities that no one of her kind has, because technically she's not really what she grew up thinking that she was. I know that's very vague, and I'm trying to keep it that way for the people who hate spoilers. One day, she decided after meeting this character that she had to go into the real world and help. She had to do her duty as who she was because she wanted to save humanity, because this story has another kind of historical tie-in with World War II, and it kind of takes place during that era, and so she had to go help save humanity because of the war. And I didn't realize that it was going to be taking place during that time when I saw the trailer, and so when you kind of are put into this scenario, and I cried, I think, probably 3 times, at least 3 times during the movie, because a very sensitive subject. And so I had cried because the movie kind of reminded me of some of the tragedies that occurred during that time, how war can tear people apart, war destroys people's families and their lives, and it leaves no stone unturned. And it kind of hurt my heart too, because I realize I will never truly understand how horrible going through and living through that tragedy was. I have to relive this history through textbooks, and so it kind of brought in those tie-ins that you could see families struggling, the children, they couldn't find their families. It was really, really sad and dramatic, and it put in those elements into the movie, and I appreciated it, but at the same time it never makes it any easier to watch, to kind of reflect and be like, that actually happened. It was much worse because it took place in one village, it portrayed one village, but at the same time you think about how awful that time period was, and it's unthinkable. And so I cried quite a bit while that was on the screen, and she, of course, had never been in the human world before. She had been isolated from mankind, and then being thrown into this, and she wants to save everyone. She wants to protect everyone that she can. She wants to save humanity and stop it from destroying each other. And she grows up through the spans of the movie, not just physically, but mentally as well. And at the end, there's quite a plot twist. I won't spoil that, but she reaches this sense of enlightenment where she realizes that humanity doesn't deserve her, but she still feels compelled to help. Not every human being is perfect, far from it actually, and she realizes that, and she's still willing to protect humanity, and I admire that part of her character. And it's so interesting seeing her try to hide in society, because obviously running around in her costume and with a sword and doesn't exactly fit into the time period. Kind of makes you stand out. And so while she's on her little mission trying to save the world and find the source of evil, she has to blend in a little bit, but she really can't, because she's so headstrong, she's so determined, and she is who she is. Another thing that I really liked about the movie was the other character that she had met was a very prominent character in the movie, and there was a love connection between them. And so typically in superhero movies, all superheroes have their love connection, and it's kind of distracting in a way. And so when that, at first they were kind of friends, and then there was a little bit more, I was worried, and so was the friend that I was watching the movie with, that this was kind of gonna like take away from the movie and take away from who she is, because she's a strong, powerful woman that she doesn't need a man. And even though it had that kind of bond between them, it wasn't in your face. It wasn't distracting. At the end, that bond is very, very important. And the lesson from the movie, if you will, my friend thought it was love. And I see where she got that from, and she didn't really like that because of some sacrifices that were made throughout the ending, and it was very, very emotionally powerful. And so I could see how love was thought to be the theme, and it is in a lot of aspects, with sacrifices, her bond with her mom, her bond with this character. It's very well portrayed throughout the movie, the theme of love. But to me, it's not just that. It is standing up for what you believe in, doing what you think is right. Not just love, but morality, loyalty, and selflessness. these are very important themes that are portrayed in the movie for multiple of reasons, and obviously, as much as I would love to kind of give examples, that would give a lot away from the movie, so I'm not going to do that. And I think that's pretty much it. There are so many things that I wanted to talk about, so many aspects of the movie and everything, but I think that is the gist of the movie. So my final opinion to you guys is to watch the movie. It is incredible. It is very thought-provoking, emotionally driving. It's incredible, like I said, and there are so many elements and aspects to it that may seem simplistic at first, but after thinking back on it, you realize the complexity of everything going on, and her struggles, his struggles, the mom's struggles. Everyone in the movie has their own struggles, and it's really interesting to see how each character tackled it in their own little way. Even if it seemed very small detailed, it did have a role in how they progressed throughout the movie, and I appreciated that. And so, my final verdict, I love the movie, definitely watch it. I cannot stress that enough. So, hopefully you found this helpful, and if you did, give me a thumbs up to let me know. Feel free to subscribe to my channel to see more videos, hopefully like this, as well as my previous videos, which I will have linked down in the description box below, as well as somewhere on the screen. I think it's going to be like over here. Somewhere. Yeah. So definitely go check that out, but I'll see you guys in the next video.